Okay, bonjour à tous, and thank you for inviting me, Dr. Robillard, and all. So now I would like to start my short talk. I hope this talk is enjoyable for you. I would like to divide this talk into four sections. First, I will discuss my artificial intelligence painter. Next, I will talk about my memories with Harold Cohen. Third, I will talk about human art that I have convinced myself through making of AI. Finally, I will give some suggestions on what is needed for the future of creative AI. So at first, I'd like to talk about my work, AI Painter. I'm making an AI that drew the pictures. Its name is Shizuka. Since 2000, I've been doing this for 23 years. During that time, there have been three major changes. So I'll explain them in order. The first one is AI before the advent of deep learning. This AI draw imaginary creatures. I'd like to explain specific mechanism in the video. First, a large number of images are given, which is not so many now, but it was a lot at that time. Then the image is divided to the level where it makes no sense. The division is done automatically at place of high curvature. Finally, the spirit parts are combined together at the location, the part that has the most connections. In this example, a birdman is created. The point is that I did not do a detailed program to draw the birdman. I did only three things. Give it a lot of pictures. Teach it how to divide the picture. Teach it how to combine the picture. Nevertheless, Shizuka was able to draw imaginary creatures. As you know, apes cannot draw imaginary creatures. So is this smarter than apes? This kind of philosophical insight is important to me. The next step is after the advent of deep learning. I convinced drawing a single picture. Next, I determined to do a series of pictures. In other words, a story, not a scene. So I decided to deal with manga because manga is very modern form of narrative expression. So I would like to explain my manga generative AI with a video. First, you enter a conversational text. The AI, which has read many manga, determines the facial expression and postures according to these conversational sentences. For example, if there is a line, idiot, the AI decides to a posture with angry face and raise the hand. But since it is a machine-learned AI, it does not just choose posture based on pattern. Thus, in the case of the line, you worried idiot, the face and posture may look like crying. After that, you can specify the number of frames and the final result will be a two-page spread manga like this. In addition, the evolution of generative AI has been remarkable in the field of images. In this example, I used Stable Diffusion, one of the image generative AI, as you know. I created a custom model of Takao Saito, a famous manga artist, using fine-tuning of Stable Diffusion, offered by his production company because he passed away 3 years ago. As you know, Stable Diffusion generates an image that matches a sentence called a prompt by inputting it. In this case, I input Alain Delon and Catherine Deneuve. You can see that AI has been two persons that match the style of Takao Saito. But there are still errors, such as the same person being drawn in one frame and different crossing. So I am still working to improve it. The last is my latest work. You already know the impact of image generative AI such as Stable Diffusion. And Stable Diffusion is open source. You can let it customize your own models. So I created the AI that learned my memory and my line. My memory is the photo I've been taking over the past 10 years of my daily life. In this example, I cut out my face from them. My line, as you can see, thus I let AI learn style my drawings. As a result, this AI drew my portrait. The line in this drawing certainly looks like my lines. But I also thought that I would not draw it like this. Especially, I do not draw mouth and nose like this. It is a very interesting experience to see a picture drawn by something other than myself, even though the lines are mine. I am currently making many pictures drawn with such lines. Soon I will hold a solo exhibition in Tokyo. I will also try NFT for a test. Some people have concern about this kind of image generative AIs, as you know. So I'd like to tell you a short episode. One day, one student asked me this question. What do you think the recent act of claiming illustrations created by an AI as your own work? It means he expects my opinion about he or she did not draw the picture, just inputting prompt only. Then I answered him honestly, showing drawings by the AI in the previous slide. I've rather started to draw more with this technology. I draw every night now because I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of illustrations AI can make. I think that if he or she really like to paint and draw, he or she ignore this technology as unnecessary, or he or she use this technology to improve his or her pictures. But creative acts, including painting, consist of not only artists but also audiences. And audiences are cruel. They detect lazy act by an artist. Therefore, what we should stick to is to create better works. At least it is not claiming right, I think. Next, I would like to talk about Harold Cohen, who inspired me to create an AI painter. Harold Cohen is a developer around the AI painter. He was a pioneer who used computers to draw the pictures, focusing on computer autonomously, since the days when computers were still used punch card. Specifically, he programmed his knowledge as a painter into computer. In other words, he made a computer program that behaved like a human. This means AI. In 1998, I was thinking about the root of art. What is art? Why do we paint? Why do we want to see it? I thought that if I could teach non-human to draw the pictures that humans draw, I could get answers to these questions. That is exactly what Harold was doing. When I know him on TV show, I sent him my first email in English. If I go there, will you meet me? His answer is, of course. At that time, the internet was so peaceful, no spam mails. He was a pioneer at the University of California at that time, San Diego. Under the bright sun in San Diego, guided by his staff, I met him finally in his white wall studio. He was like Obi-Wan, the great master Jedi. Thankfully, I was able to obtain her visa. Then I started to follow his errand and created my own AI painter. To differentiate myself from him, I added eyes to my own AI painter. In the other ones, I implemented getting data from outside. His Aaron had no eyes because it was enough for him, his knowledge as his own painter. Anyway, I began to program the vision process of human brain. In short, it's called computer vision. But I soon ran into trouble. As you can see in this picture, we have a kind of screen around the back of our head. From there, the image further broken down in each module named V. But no book I read at that time mentioned that how to store images. Then, when I told my trouble to Harold, he said, "How do you know what I am thinking now?" There's no way to know. There's no way to do that. Of course, I know that there are brain scientists who have recently developed the technology to make images of what we think. But I'm not brain scientist. Or rather, we are visual artists. We visual artists can see images pragmatically. At least we have drawn a lot of pictures. Therefore, I determined not to examine the inside, such as brain and mind, but outside pictures. It means how does the meaning of this picture construct? Now, in this section, I would like to talk about the essence of human art, which has convinced me using AI in that way. First of all, humans are not only drawing creatures on the earth. In fact, there are many creatures. Even chimpanzees draw without viewers. So what is the decisive difference between apes and humans? To explain this difference, I would like to introduce you an experiment conducted by one Japanese researcher. In this experiment, a 3-year-old girl and a chimpanzee were given a paper of a picture of a no-face monkey. As soon as the 3-year-old girl saw the picture, she said, "Oh, he don't have eyes," and immediately drew eyes, nose, and mouth. But the chimpanzee only traced the line and did not add eyes. Finally, as you know, the intelligence of human children and chimpanzees are almost the same until the age of 3. Then what can human children do after the age of 3? Language. And humans are only creatures on this planet that can write text. And the art for us seems to be deeply related to our language ability. Actually, image generative AI illustrates well this deep connection between human language and art. This diagram is shown in Stable Diffusion paper. It explains how Stable Diffusion works briefly. Stable Diffusion consists of 3 AI modules. The first is module on the left. This is the AI that encodes and decodes the image into a space called latent. The module in middle is the image generation AI called a diffusion model. Diffusion model was very powerful to generate images. But what I would like to tell you about is the module on the right. This module is the AI stimulate human imagination. This is the AI learn the connection between text and images, as it's called semantic map. A representative of this machine learning model is called CRILCQ. For training it, you provide a large number of images paired with captions that describe them. Then CRILCQ connects these pairs into a map between image and their captions. Perhaps a human could do manually this about 100 images, but CRILCQ is an AI can automatically make connections that exceed a billion. Connecting meaning and symbol is called symbol grounding. This CRILCQ exactly symbol grounding AI, which connect word as meaning and images as symbols. That's the image generative AI. After using a diffusion model, the results were much better, much powerful. But until just a few years ago, there were non-diffusion models, and I was making it myself too. So for me, the diffusion model module is not important, but the CRILCQ module is. For example, 3 below are the generate results using Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and Japanese Stable Diffusion. The prompt is almost the same. My father drinking beer. But look at Japanese Stable Diffusion. Although the image generation module has not been changed, Japanese Stable Diffusion generates an Asian word. Thus, language has a strong effect on images. So what is images? To explain it, here are 3 creatures that see a bear. They are human, a deer, a hawk. How does a human see a bear? It probably be as is. How about a deer that can see in a dark? I think it see more brightly. How about a hawk that can see things in far? I think it can see a bear's face expression. I'm not sure they actually see like this. What I'd like to say here is that other creatures have a clever sense than humans, but humans have a language ability. Unlike deers and hawks, we can connect a bear to the word. In the knowledge space of language, we can connect the word bear to the word animal. Also, we can associate word human from the word animal. Furthermore, we can mix words that have completely different meanings. And we have hands. With our hands, we can draw a cartoon-style bear. Moreover, we can create a new word. This leads to the meaning of Winnie the Pooh for a cartoon-style bear. Once Winnie the Pooh is shared among us, we don't need to remember every detail of the image. Someone has to do is draw it. So we can remember a lot of them because we can simply memorize them as tokens. Of course, since the invention of paper, we can record it and leave it behind, even if no one can draw it. And the amazing thing is that we can represent images. I believe this is the essence of art. Letting AI draw has clearly given me this insight. Okay, now the last section. Here, I would like to explain what is needed for future of such creative AI. The advent of image generative AI has demonstrated, at least to me, what is important to art. But I do not think it is enough. So what is needed for creative AI in the future? Here, I will use the example of humans, AI, and non-human creatures. Since AI a projection of human intelligence, it has language ability. No human creatures do not have it. When these 3 encounter a scary creatures called bear, humans and non-human creatures are surprised. That would be fear. So what is the fear for AI? I believe that living creatures, including humans, first have emotions. But for an AI, at least current AI, the behavior in that way is to derive from language. Okay, is that a real emotions? But for art, evocating emotions through artwork cannot be ignored. And if so, AI should also get emotions. So what should we do? I think many people will try to do this in the future. I think it is easy to derive it from the language model, but I believe that emotion comes before the language. Therefore, I am currently working with a neuroscientist colleagues to collect biological signals from audiences. There is no limit to teach to AI. Therefore, I will continue to evolve. But the focus of attention should be on us, humans, who will evolve with AI after all. I'm always excited when I think about them. I hope you excite as well as me. That's all for the talk. Merci beaucoup.
One of the most important questions that your work is showing is this question of creativity, because now we are just exploring the boundaries of creativity, what it is creativity, and we all the time think that creativity is a human thing, it's a specificity of humans. And in your work, you show that in the modern art, for example, there is a lot of example of animals that can do this kind of creative act, as Dali did with les pulpes, les pieuvres. When Dali put octopus on the paper and the octopus just move, make some lines, and after that, is it a creation of Dali or is it an octopus creation? So you have this kind of manifestation a lot recently in the arts, and now we have this thing that doesn't think, that is not a presence as such, which is IA. And so could you talk about this relation between what can be a non-human creativity? Does it exist as such? I see it in other works, for example, for sound works, when you take these sounds, for example, and you modify them as IRCAM can do, for example, and all that. So it's is it a human creativity or is it animal creativity? Is it just because it's a human eye that see and judge the works that make it a work of art? Or is it as such a work of art?
Honestly, I said I only deal with human creativity and human art. And the AI made by humans is only just projection of human creativity. If apes or if sandworm can program into the computer, it may make their own art in their creativity. But how to know each other, I'm not sure. But in the science fiction I read recently, the alien AI and human, future of human also have AI. And at first contact, they couldn't communicate anything. But each AI tried to communicate. And finally, they can communicate each other, alien and us. This is just science fiction, but this is one of interesting imagination. I'm not sure how to implement it other creatures without human, but if we can to find, implement it, or collect biological something data, we may understand some kind of creativity of creatures without us.